Breaking news coming out of the LEC today, a very, very big announcement. We have news about Team Heretics and their replacement in the jungle for Jankos for the 2025 season. Obviously, 2024 was a pretty disappointing year, both individually for Jankos and for Team Heretics as a whole. Our Sheep Esports stats did have Jankos ranked as the 7th best jungler. I believe this was during the LEC summer split, 7th best jungler overall, which is obviously pretty disappointing for Jankos, a guy who holds himself to very high regards and very high standards. Obviously, this is maybe a little bit skewed because Team Heretics was a team not with a great win-loss record or anything, so your stats are going to be a little bit skewed downward, but by any metrics and any means, a disappointing year for Jankos individually, I'm sure, and I know that he wants better for himself and for his teams, and obviously for Team Heretics, they ended up going 3-6 during the LEC regular season in the summer, which is definitely going to be disappointing, and then ultimately in the playoffs, lost 2-0 to SK, and then ultimately lost 2-1 to Giants X as well, so not really a great year all around. There was all kinds of craziness going on. We had previously reported on Sheep Esports, this from Eros, that Wonder, Jankos, Zyru, and Trimby have all been allowed to explore their options. They had talked about how Team Heretics may retain one of those 4 players if the offseason does not go according to plan, but the priority is to rebuild their project around Flocked, and then they might hold on to their coach as well. Will also retain his position for the 2025 season. So yeah, they're going to be looking for replacements all over the place and hopefully have this 2025 season go way better than 2024. So the news we have today coming out is that Shio is the new man in the jungle for Team Heretics. This is a very, very big pickup. This was during the LEC summer split for 2024. Our Sheep Esports rankings had him as the 2nd best jungler in the LEC. This guy's, I believe, a 21-year-old French jungler who a lot of people are very, very excited about. Definitely has some big talent. This guy was a hot commodity in the LEC offseason. Here are some of the details I have from Eros. This report is coming from him. He says that Shio was a really big piece of the jungle market. A lot of teams were in on him, but they took too much time. Some of them weren't even able to get an official offer out to Shios. He was going to play tryouts with K-Corp, apparently, but then eventually he did decline in the end to join Team Heretics on a 2-year deal. These are the exact details that I'm getting from Eros himself. So Heretics has locked Shio in the jungle. Apparently he had some interest from K-Corp and maybe even an offer from Giants X as well, but interest from at least multiple different teams in the LEC. Obviously, as we know, there's a bunch of top teams that are at Worlds right now competing, so a lot of the teams that aren't at Worlds right now, it does seem like they're the ones being much more active in the offseason right now. Obviously, Shio leaving Team BDS is going to be a big blow for them. He's going to be a player that's very, very hard to replace, and it's going to be interesting to see how BDS will eventually replace him as well. We did get a little bit more random kind of BDS news last night where LEC Wooloo did tweet out that AD carry Ice and mid laner Nuke, still miss his name being Nuclear Int. I wish he would go back to that. But they have agreed to re-sign with Team BDS. So BDS obviously losing some players, missing out on some players, but bringing back some very, very important players to their team as well. Wooloo here, again in that article, Ice and Nuke are set to re-sign with BDS. Sources have told Sheep Esports that Ice and Nuke have reached a verbal agreement to extend their contracts with Team BDS after consistently ranking among the top 4, if not top 3 orgs in the LEC this year. BDS has secured 2 of its main carries. They were both the organization's first choice for their starting roster next year, so it's cool that BDS is landing a lot of their top picks. Nuke demonstrated throughout the season that he possesses the skills to be among the very best in his role. He's set to embark on this 4th year of Team BDS alongside Ice in the bot lane, who also had a stellar year in the LEC after replacing Crowny ahead of the 2024 season. Ice established himself as a dominant player in the LEC. BDS's project is taking shape with the extension of these 2 players, complemented by the arrival of Irrelevant in the top lane. Seems like the organization has already secured most of its roster early in the offseason. Other teams like G2, Fnatic, Mad Lions they're unable to actively participate in the transfer market since they are competing at Worlds right now. Again, like I said previously, so some big news for BDS there as well. Even though they're losing Shio, still Nuke was seen as, according to our Sheep Esports rankings, the number 5 mid laner during the LEC summer split. So middle of the pack with some talent, with some promise, with some potential. At his best, he can be very, very good. but obviously hoping to grow and expand on that going into the 2025 season. And then for Ice, our Sheep rankings had him as the number 180 carry and the number 1 overall player, actually, number 1 overall rated player in the LEC summer split. So again, looking to build off that success into the new year, and adding Irrelevant in the top lane is obviously a very, very big thing there as well. We do have the updated kind of transfer market and what's going on. You can see here Team BDS down in this left-hand corner with Irrelevant, Nuke, Ice, and Peruse rounding out their roster. roster. They are still looking for a jungler now that Shios is obviously going to be on the move, and we can go up here to Team Heretics, and we know that we have Flockhead with Shio in the jungle, so they're going to be, obviously, like I said previously, looking to replace Wonder, Zyru, and Trimby, so it's going to be interesting to see how they all round that out. But yes, some very, very big news. Obviously, it'll be interesting to see where Jankos can go as well, if he's going to find another spot in the LEC. I know there's been maybe some mixed rumors going on with him about a lack of a great market for Jankos, but maybe some teams potentially interested, maybe him being able to land on a spot. We will have to wait and see. And again, if we do have any more updates on Jankos or the rest of the Heretics roster or the new BDS jungler or whatever, we will definitely report that news out to you guys, hopefully sooner rather than later. Of course, as always, all of our offseason coverage is powered by Holy. Make sure you guys check out that first link in the description below. Discount code SE5 to get a nice little discount on great tasting energy drinks that are also just happen to be healthier than the competition. That sounds pretty great to me. Hopefully we catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.